Now, do the math. Talk to your accountant. Let's look at the numbers here. If you cut your price by 10% on a 35-point margin, you have to nearly double your unit sales just to break even. If you put this in a spreadsheet, this concept comes from another marvelous book. It's written about 25 years ago called How to Sell at Higher Prices Than Your Competition by my friend Larry Steinmetz. And if you take $1 million in sales, just as an example, so multiply this by whatever your operation is doing, could be more, could be less. At 35% margin, that means your cost of goods sold here is $650,000 or 65% of that. That leaves a gross margin of $350,000. Your variable cost of sales, now if you're assuming that you're paying, say, 10% commission and another 5% on margin, or on marketing in general, that's probably a conservative number for most of you. That's another $150,000 a year. And then you have to cover your fixed G&A expenses, the building, the lights, amortizing the machinery, doing the accounting, the billing, all of that stuff. That doesn't go away. That's another 20% of your gross, typically about $200,000. So if you add all this up, we are just at break even. Now, most of you are operating net in somewhere in the range of 2.5% to 3%. Is what you take home at the end of the year and pay taxes on. Is that about right from the research I've done? So every dollar of sales after this break-even point now has a potential upside of 20 cents. Not bad, but you're not making any, you sold $1 million worth of product, you're not making any money yet, and you haven't paid Uncle Sam. Now, let's cut the price by 10%. You want a discount? Sure, okay, we could do that. Now, your total sales volume is $900,000, 10% less. Your cost of goods sold remains the same. It's the same goods. Now that ratio is 72% of your revenue. Your gross margin has dropped from 35% down to 28%. That's a change of 29%, a reduction of 29% of your profit. You gave away a third of your profitability nearly by doing that. Now, your variable cost of sales is a little bit lower. You're paying 15% commission on $900,000 instead of $1 million, but your G&A fixed stays the same. So, now every potential dollar after that is only worth 11 cents because you're under the waterline. So, oh geez, okay, so sales are good. We're making sales, we're growing like crazy, we're cranking this stuff out. Like the old joke, the vendor says, yeah, we lose 2 cents on every one of these we print, but we make it up on volume. Yeah, right? That's where it goes. So if you're in that situation, you have to boost sales by $1.8 million and change just to get back to break even. That's an 80% increase in dollar volume, but it's double the number of units. So who here would like to work twice as hard for the same profit? It makes no sense. And yet we see vendors all the time that just can't, oh yeah, well, we'll just, I know what, we'll boost business, we'll cut our price. Don't even think about it. That is simple economic suicide. So how do you fight back against that trend? Don't be the low, you don't want to be like this guy. How did I go broke? I was the low bid. On the other hand, if you raise your prices by 10%, just 10%, if you don't charge just another 10% premium, you could give up 34% of your gross sales and still have the same profit margin. Now, who here has customers right now that you would just as soon not have? Right? You just you could call them. You got them picked out already right now. You're going to call them up and say, it's been wonderful, but the state of our business, new technology, whatever, I don't think we can serve you anymore. Let me refer you to one of my competitors who will give you the pricing that you want and the service that you so richly deserve. It's been great, thanks, but no thanks.